January has passed. Ins and outs are plenty. Let's get into it. Please don't be mad. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of AJAX Assembled. Really appreciate all the views and comments. And I know I say it every episode, but it's genuinely the most active I think people have been just watching me play. My tactic videos usually do okay. I really appreciate it. You're getting FM23. As a content creator, thank you. I feel like it's going to be a good year for me, so I hope you all join me along for the ride. And I'm open to suggestions for the main game. If you have anything you'd like to see me do, I really don't know. Like I know plenty of people plan their stuff ages in advance. I have an idea what I'd like to do. I'm looking at Galatasaray actually. The amount of people they've brought in, yeah, it could be an interesting one, but I don't know. I'm very open to it, and I'm not opposed to anything really. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Anyway, I digress. Let's get into the transfers, eh? A couple of people joining for next season. I think they're very important signings. Brian Fierbiema is just a youth prospect. He's actually on loan in League One at the moment. So obviously a big jump up. But statistically, I like what I saw. Obviously, I haven't scouted him fully, but I like what I see. And I kind of know him in real life. So I know he's a decent prospect. Obviously, a little bit cheating. But I can't help what I know in real life, is it? It has nothing to do with me. Antonin Barak is a player who I also really like in real life. I can't believe his contract expiring at Udinese. Sorry, at Fiorentina. He must have joined on a 1 year deal from Hellas. I don't know how that worked, but it's allowed us to poach and go in and get this player on a free transfer. Confident he'll be worth about 30 million once we get him in. I'm adamant he will be. There's some stats I love of him. He's left footed for a start, which is cool. Attacking midfielder, very tall, good strength. Off the ball, unbelievable. Teamwork, as you can see as well, very good. I think he has the makings of an Ajax player, if you understand what I'm saying. Be perfect in that attacking mid role, or the centre mid Mazzala role, possibly. Still thinking about that. Owen Vindal actually left the club on loan to Anderlecht, wasn't getting really any game time. So it just kind of made sense, didn't it, to let him go. There's no reason to keep him around if he's not playing actively. I was literally just looking at somewhere, maybe like history or something. Yeah, let's put career stats down there so you can actually see what. Oh, you can't even see that, but I'm putting career stats on it so I can see what's actually going on. Only played 9 times, sadly. But a loan's good. There's no option to buy, so he'll be back next year. Then we can reevaluate from there. Well, I suppose without further delay, let's get into it, and I can try and explain some of my ins and outs for you. The first one may be quite straightforward. You can't rely on a 40-year-old Stekelenburg and a 38-year-old Remco Pasveer for very long, can you? You've got to bring in someone younger. And at 23, that's it's a massive difference. It's 15 years from Pasveer. And he's gone straight in as number one. Decent rating so far, above 7. Good on the ball. Great passing at 12 for a 23-year-old, and obviously can progress further. Got him for about 5 million from Madrid. He's already valued at 30 to 33. I don't know if that's just because he's playing now. Again, another tall player. I like a tall goalkeeper typically as well because I don't know. I just fill out the goal a bit more. Do you know what I mean? It's like me in this square. The bigger I am in this square, less room for you to. You get what I mean. That's how it works. But 5.25 billion, I think it's a cracking signing. Your eyes must be very quickly drawn to the next person on this list. I couldn't help myself. Zlatan on for 475 grand. I don't need to say too much here, do I? I assume you all know him. He started like a house of fire, 2 goals in 4 games. I couldn't help it. I think it's a great signing for a year. He's got a contract until 24, but he has an extension if he plays 10 games. He's already played 4, so probably around till he's 43. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. I think it's a great signing, and it's fun. It's fun. It's beta. Obviously, I can't take it too seriously. One that might jump out to you, and I will finish with the ins in a second, but just to put it into context, obviously, with what I was doing. Steven Berghuis, a good player, 31 now. Played only 3 starts in the league, off the bench a few times, and we got an offer of 10 million from PSG. He obviously wanted to leave, so I didn't want to deny him that chance. And I think 10 million is a good deal. I don't know how much they bought him for in real life, but 5 million So look, I mean, more or less double the money in 2 years, and he's north of 30, which is usually my time. I look at moving people on if I can, and it makes sense. Obviously, if they're fantastic, I'm not going to. The one that really annoyed me, and it's my fault, really is my fault. I didn't check his contract. It ticked over to January 1st. It was 6 months left, and Man U offered a contract more or less straight away. I couldn't do anything. I offered him 18 grand a week to stay. They offered him 15, and he just left to go Man U. A bit annoying. That's a really big mistake on my part, and I think Van Axel Dongen is a very, very good talent, and I made a mistake there. However, you live and you learn. I went through the under 18s. I offered everyone an updated deal on the back of that. Whoopsie daisy, my fault. Um, Next player out the door was 33-year-old Dusan Tadic. Not someone I actually really wanted to sell, and you can see on his debut for Newcastle, he's got 2 goals. So he's got a lot to offer still. But 17 million, and was very. I turned down 2 bids of 8 and then 12, and then they offered it to 17. I was like, well, all right, that's my figure then. For a 34-year-old, sorry, 17 million is a cracking fee, I think. He seems to be defying age and nature at the moment by playing on quite a while, but that can only go on so long. And I think I've sold him for a profit. Well, I mean, I've sold him for as much as I can. I think at his age. Jorge Sanchez left. Never really got a chance for us. Played a couple of times, as you remember. I think he gave away a penalty in the only game I actually started him in. So never really grown to him. 4.5 million will do. So Caleb Berg left on a free, which just freed up some wages for us actually, and I was open for that. I find out as I showed you earlier, and if we just carry on with the ins to more or less replace Tadic. I know he's playing on a different wing typically. Andreas Schelderup, I think is right. Schelderup. I honestly don't know what I'll call him in game. That's too long-winded for my English vocabulary, but I'll figure it out as we go through the commentary. 18 years old. You don't need me to say too much about him. If you've watched any Wonder Kids list, he's probably on it. He's unbelievable. Even at the young age of like 18, he's coming to the club. He's got 4 assists in 2 games. He's putting up scary numbers, and obviously we've got him on a long deal as well, 5-year deal basically. And yeah, I like everything about him. He's into the first team straight away, more or less. And at 18, that's fantastic. And 7.5 million, which is his release clause if you're in a continental football, well worth going for. Another player was Philip Bronigan Jorgensen, a defensive midfielder or centre midfielder from Norway. Very well rounded in every sense of the word. Actually, he's in Jong AJAX at the moment. I'm going to moving up. Yeah, definitely an option for us in that defensive mid role, which is obviously what we're playing at the moment. I think he's a solid pickup. Only 4 million as well. Leonardo Lello, more or less Vindal's replacement. He's going to be playing the left back spot, and he can also actually play further up the field. I doubt he'll be playing there, but do you know what? For 2.80 million, that's not a massive money outlay, and I think he's worth it. He's a good squad player. He's happy to be the squad player, and I think it's quite interesting. Last signing was just a punt, 1.4 million on Alessio Besio, and it might be the best name I've ever heard. Alessio Besio. Just sounds fun to say, doesn't it? Doing really well for St Gallen. He was playing a few games, even at 18, and was ripping up their under 21s as well. I bought him in and loaned him straight back on deadline day, just because I don't think he'll be playing this year, so it's worth him getting a bit more first team football. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the extra transfers in, that more or less wraps it up. But I will go forward on. Obviously, we beat Vitesse and then beat Juve. We followed up by beating PSV 1-0. Nico Gonzalez scored the goal. A 4-1 win over FC Emmen. A couple of penalties in there, but Klaassen scored a hat trick, which was great, and Taylor got the other one. We had the World Cup break. I don't actually know who won it, but it's worth checking out because I'm sure you'll be interested. I didn't even check myself. Let's have a look. Oh, of course, Mexico won it, as typically they. What is that? Well, fair play to him. I mean, Brazil had a red card as well in the final, and Layun scored the winner to say that. Do you know what? Mexico would be a party like atmosphere for about 10 years if they won the World Cup. It'd be unbearable. But good for them. That's interesting. NEC, we followed that, but obviously after the World Cup, played a couple of friendlies. We won both of them, but it was just for fitness. Beat NEC Nijmegen 2-0. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. It's a bit of a killer, wasn't it? We beat Alkmaar in the second round of the KNVB Becker, and then a draw at home. So we started to falter a little bit towards the end. And then we followed that with a very disappointing game against De Graafschap, 3-2 loss. Really, we was 3-0 down basically just before half time, and then Tadic pulled one back, and then Kudus in the second half. We couldn't turn it around. It was too far gone by the time we'd gone 3 down. And disappointing, but you know what? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it does give us a lot of opportunity to turn our attention back to the league and obviously the Champions League, which we are through in. And you can probably see who we drew down here. We've got Milan in this round of 16. So that's our benefit for finishing top. We play AC Milan, which is not the worst team to draw, is it? I think we've got a chance. Definitely, it just depends on that away leg, which is first, which is beneficial, which means we're at home for the second leg, which I typically like to be. Um, and just rounding this up, Nico Gonzalez, and I will show you this goal because it's well worth it, just for the context, obviously. I might have been playing on the fast speed, so I will slow it down slightly. But just for context, I don't think we played very well this game. Um, do you know what? This is where you sign big players like this. Nico will pick up the ball in a second. He cuts inside. He had an injury on him, and he just levers it home. Beats the goalkeeper for finals, and that's a fantastic win away. It's as I typically like to say quite a lot, it's a game that champions win. We weren't good, and we managed to do it. I mean, it's worth watching Ibrahimovic score a goal because it's a novelty piece, isn't it? I will show you. Volendam again. We're winning games here, but not in the fashion I would expect. Um, Obviously, we won this game. Shadorub getting the assist for Ibra here, who just takes a touch and slams it in the top left, which is fantastic. He followed it up with a close range header in the next game as well against Excelsior, where Bornau and Nico Gonzalez scored again. So it's been going pretty well. This episode is going to be a bit more chilled. Obviously, I have a very long intro of me talking about transfers and going through a couple of goals. Play a couple of games, not free this episode. We'll leave that for the next one. But we've got Canberra and Volvik. Next one, I will throw in Milan. I'll come back. So I'm not going to have a very big jump in between episodes this time. It'll be Milan probably. And then maybe like for tests or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe skip a couple of games and play both Milan games in the same episode. Could be good. Yeah, we'll do that, I think. But this one will just be a bit more relaxing, just about my ins and outs. And obviously, we'll get on to the game then. So we've got Canberra away. As I said, we've been faltering. We've been winning, but not by style. Not in style, sorry. But that might be because of the big changeover of players. Give me 2 seconds and I'll be back for the actual game. Do you know what is really annoying, actually? In between me literally going 3 days to this game, Ibrahimovic has got a flu, which is amazing. So he won't be playing this game. Hopefully, he'll be playing the Valvik game, but we'll find out about that when we get to it. And Timber's picked up a 7 to 9 week injury, so he'll probably miss both legs of the Milan game. Oh, who would be a football manager? What is the point sometimes? Either way, the team I've gone with, we've got Lunin, Bassi, Blind, Bornau, Wrench, Grilic, Taylor, Kudus, Bergwijn, Shadorub, and Gonzalez up top. I think it's the team that's got the best chance of winning. It's not good to see Robbie missing out quite a bit. But do you know what? Actually, I will actually, no, do you know what? I'll stick with the team I picked. I was going to play Robbie because I felt a bit bad. He lost his place, obviously, to Ibra recently. And however, the kid's like still 20, 21, isn't he? So he can't be too upset. We've got Philippe on the bench as well and Lello, 2 of our new players on the bench as well. But yeah, obviously you get to see the new goalkeeper and stuff. And yeah, I'll just turn the speed down here. I think we have it on that one typically. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, I hope you enjoy me literally going over a couple of the players. And I do like to get in depth about transfers. It's probably my favourite area of the game. I mean, whose isn't? I love signing players and selling players. I'm glad we managed to keep an overall profit for the save so far. Even the players we've brought in, we still would have made a net positive. I try not to sign expensive players unless it's someone I just can't resist. Typically, Canberra over the corner here. It's headed away. Bangura, Malin over the bar. But yeah, no, we've. I think we've done well. Obviously, we've. Someone even commented last episode like what their best team, Ajax's best team in real life, and that put me under pressure because by the time he typed that comment, I've sold 3 of those players. So I feel like a dick. But, but no, I mean, well, it is what it is. Hopefully, I've made a good decision. But I feel like I need another window to put my imprint on this squad. But I mean, we've got plenty of time. Bergwijn, absolute trickery there. And he still had it, flicked over a player on rushing, and then more or less ran up to the post and kicked it to it. But very strange. But this half has gone very, very quickly. I'll leave it to like the 60th minute and try and make some changes. But if you look at statistically, we might not have had many highlights, but um, we've had 12 shots already and a good XG as well, but not making anything in terms of actual highlights. I'll bring off Grilic for the debut for Philip Bronigan Jorgensen. And you know what? Luca might even come on. I might even switch Bergwijn for Gonzalez. So Gonzalez back on his right wing role, which he actually prefers. I feel like he plays miles better there as well. He can dip into that trequartista role. I didn't even notice that, by the way. I didn't actually tell you. I moved that striker from a pressing forward to trequartista just because it seems more effective. Are we really going to just roll through with a 0-0 here? This is going to be very disappointing. I will move it to attacking and give them a demand more. I'd like to see us go forward and try and get something. We literally have had no highlights at all. Wow, really poor draw. But this is what I've been saying. Yeah, I can only apologise for that one. That was about as boring as anything. But do you know what? Obviously, because that's so short, we can throw in another game. That literally was like 2 minutes of just nothing. But this is what I've tried to been saying. We've got a very comfortable lead as well. We're still undefeated in the league, but we're drawing more games and we're not winning by big margins anymore. However, I wouldn't say it's because we didn't make chances. We had 18 shots and a very good XG. But I'll stick with it. We've got Ibra back for the next match. Let's just forget that happened. Here we go. Ibrahimovic. That's box office right there. No 0-0 draw this game. I guarantee he'll. I'm not going to say I'll guarantee he'll score because that's not fair. He probably won't. Now I've said that. However, he has been very effective when I've been playing off camera. So let's see if he has some camera nightmares. Oh, we've got a highlight already. It's already better. I thought it was going to be a red card straight away. As soon as someone dives into the tackle with a highlight, I'm scared. Wrench is patient on the ball. Nico Gonzalez. Wrench. Kudus. Ibra's in the middle. He spins. Wrench squares it. Ibra on a header and he scores. That's why we bring this man back. Third goal already. He is just like a big lamppost. Honestly, I don't know if you have lampposts in the country you're in, but I have one outside my window. That's why I say that. Wrench, literally. No one, the defenders don't even jump. Ibra does. The man at 41 is still hungry for goals. And he's third since his return to Ajax. Is already going to put us in a good position. Shelderup over a corner as well. Swung in. Ibra's on it again. And he scores again. Ibrahimovic, 2 goals within 4 minutes. I said he'd score. I didn't say he'd score 2. But he has. This is what we love to see. I love signing a veteran. Ibra again springs up. Deep header. And he's unstoppable. He's on a hat-trick within a couple of minutes. I'll take him off in the 10th minute for a round of applause if he gets a hat-trick. Oh, Shedrick's over a corner. Swung in, headed away by Adewoye. Nico Gonzalez. Lind, ball now. Not much he can do there. He swings it into Kudus, or tries to anyway, but it's cleared away. Devon Wrench regains the ball and plays it into Blind. Blind, long ball for Nico Gonzalez. Shedrick, tackle. Thought it could be a penalty then, but we've tried to make something from this attack again. Bassi, Blind, just steps on the ball, waits for it. Taylor plays in Shedrick. Ibra, can he get that ball? And he does. It's a hat-trick within 12 minutes. Ibrahimovic. Wow. 12-minute hat-trick. What an absolute signing he's been. And I think that's, what is that now? 5 goals in 6 games. I know it's a hat-trick in 1 game, but it's impressive. The power as well. The ball was loose. Shedrick made himself a bit of a nuisance. He flicked it on. That's another 2 assists for Shedrick as well. I think that's like 6 assists in 4 games now. Like, unbelievable return from Shedrick. 7.5 million is going to look like an absolute steal in about a year, I think. Kudus now on the ball. We've regained our mojo now. It's into the middle. Nico Gonzalez, 4-0 in 18 minutes. RKC Waalwijk are absolutely stunned. I've not seen a performance like this from us so far yet this season. We're going to get into the moment where we're going to need to skip highlights because it's getting ridiculous. El Hassani for Waalwijk. They're going forward. Grilic is intercepted. Lunin, Lind. Now this is what I want to see. Building from the back. This is what Ajax do. We'll start an attack from literally our own keeper here. So everyone's going to get a touch, hopefully. Nico into Shedrick. Takes a touch. He goes to he's rounded the keeper nearly and makes it 5, but he couldn't. There was a slight touch from the keeper to stop it going in. He's over a corner though. And the man's waiting at the back post. He can't get it. Ulrich now. Good tackle from Kudus there. Bornau, Taylor, Nico Gonzalez. Will he try whip one in? He doesn't. He squares it to Kudus. A bending effort, and Mohamed Kudus makes it 5 with an absolute corker, and that's worthy of a replay. I could watch this all day. We might not have a third game. This could be a very long game now. Gonzalez cuts in, plays it off to Mohamed Kudus, who's there. He takes one touch to set himself, and the other touch bends into the top left corner. An absolute rocket. 5-0, 27 minutes in. The game's done and dusted already, and we've got, the team is playing unbelievably well. Wow, 3 yellow cards in 4 minutes there. 4 minutes for Waalwijk. They lost their composure a bit now. Them getting a red would pretty much wrap this game up. We're at half time now. I'll play. Do you know what? Ibra's actually doing quite well match fitness wise. I was going to take him off, but we'll take Bassi off just because he has a yellow card. Be a debut for Leonardo Lello, our new left back, who's basically Vindal's replacement while he's out on loan. We'll give it a couple more minutes, then we'll give Ibra his round of applause while we sub him off. But he might be hungry for another. He could get another before that time. He's headed it down for Schellerup. Leonardo Lello's on it now. First touches an Ajax player. He's bombing down the wing. He gives the ball away, but wings it back. Clearance from Waalwijk finds Kramer. Kiel. Good tag. Oh, Anita. Vernon Anita. Wow. Ajax player as well. Lebete. Squared to Clement. Blocked. Bit messy from our defenders there. Not really getting the ball away, but I think the job's done now. Blind has made sure that is done. But a bit shaky. We'll make a sub now. I think Bornau is literally, as I just said, 1 game away from suspension. So we'll bring on Kaplan. We'll bring on Jorgensen as well. Jim as well. We've got to make sure he's getting some minutes. We'll bring him off for Taylor. And we'll give it a few more minutes, then we'll take Ibra off. Belhassani over a free kick. Swung in, headed away. Lots of room for Schellerup to operate in now. What will he do? Plays it to Kudus. Ibra is forward, but he's not really making a bursting run. Kudus, will he go all the way? He does. What a fantastic finish from Mohamed Kudus. He's making himself very undroppable now. He's playing fantastically in that right centre mid role we've got him in. But that bursting run there is fantastic. And I don't know how he found the finish, but it's picture perfect into that bottom left-hand corner. Joseph Zoon has come on for Waalwijk as well. Another, I think he's PSV. I don't know if he played for Ajax. I can't remember now, honestly. But Brian Brobby's going to come on. Ibra will get his round of applause, but there'll be one last chance before that change is made. Adewoye for Waalwijk. Bakari. Clement. Mulder. Kramer. Devin Wrench spins on the ball. Ron again, Jorgensen is just contemplating. Look at Ibra coming back and dropping into the centre mid position. And he's playing a Harry Kane-esque performance here, I'm going to say it. I know Ibra is probably, I'm not going to get into that debate who's better, but it's a fantastic run. And Kudus, it's out now, so Ibra will come off. He'll get a round of applause after his hat-trick in 13 minutes. I didn't think it'd go that well since signing him back, I must say. It's a cracking signing, don't get me wrong. I think it's great for the money, but I didn't think he'd be that productive for us. Obviously, it is fantastic to see. Adewoye for Waalwijk. Oh, he's lost the ball. Kian Fitzjim took it back, but Bakari's won it back. Pereira, long clearance. Oh, he's been intercepted. Nico, Fitzjim, Robbie. And he makes it 6. Or 7, is it? 7, sorry. So I've lost count of the goals. That's a good problem to have, isn't it, in FM? 7-0. Brian Brobby off the bench. Won't be outdone by Ibra. Comes off, makes sure he's still in amongst my thoughts. He gets around the keeper, pokes it home. Pereira got something to it, but he couldn't stop it going in. That's 7-0. And that's a well-won game now. I don't need to see the title, so I don't really care. Well, what a win that was. Hat-trick from Ibrahimovic. Unbelievable. I can't believe I'm saying that in 2022, let alone in FM23. It just sounds mad to me. What a performance. He got 9.7, and that takes him to 5 goals in 5 games in the league now. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. He might even get a recall into the Swedish team at this rate, but we'll see about that. I think that's a nice place to leave it. I don't think we'll get much better than that. I will come back for the Milan game, so it'll be a very short interval between episodes. So yeah, I'll get this one up, and hopefully you can enjoy it. My name's Frank. This is To Be Frank. Thanks for watching Ajax Assembled, and please join me for the Milan Champions League knockouts.